y'all, this is Dina. Welcome to my channel. I'm back to finish up this mini album and show you how I did the pages. There's going to be 6 pages in the book, and this is what we did last night. Got the cover, I've already got pockets. All you have to do is get your designer series paper, cover this up. So this video will just be doing the pages, and I think that you could figure out all the decorations because you guys are pros. You guys are good at all that. That's the easy part. But anyway, yeah, I figured out all the measurements for you if you want to do this style of mini album. There's so many styles. You can switch the pages around in here if you want. If you don't want them in this order, don't put them in this order. It's okay. But let me just go through. I'm going to show you how I did this particular album. And so we're going to start, making the pages just like I did in this album. Okay, so first you're going to need 6 of each of these 2 pieces. These measure the base, these are base pages, 6.5 by 5.5. You're going to score on the half at top and bottom. On this one, it's 5.5 by 5.5. No scoring needed. So all you're going to do is, I've already went ahead and added my tape. And I'm just gonna grab my bone folder, make my edges crispy on this. And these are what it's gonna go like right in here, okay? So, you might make sure I didn't do it too long. No, yeah, 5.5, but so I got 6.5. Okay, it's looking good. For a sec, I thought it was too big. Okay, so this 5.5 and this 6.5, they're going to become friends, okay? So we're going to join them together. So in order to try to get your pages on as straight as you can, just go ahead, peel off a little bit of the top of your tape. You can use glue on this if you like. And I'm just going to line up my corners. And once I know I've got that down, then I'm going to peel off my tape. Okay? Try to get it as straight as you can. If you can't, then that's okay. Then I'm going to peel off my bottom tape. And just press it down. These are going to be our base pages. You need 6 of these. Okay? So this is what it looks like. I had already got all of them prepared, and I went and did the 6th one, and look, y'all, I just dropped something. So sorry about that. Okay, so let me get my pages here. Got my page 4, got my page 3, 2, and okay, so we're gonna start. We're going to start with this page right here, okay? This is open up and it's got a pocket, okay? So, these are the ones I started at work yesterday. Okay, so, let's go ahead and first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to put on our flaps, and then we'll put on our pocket, okay? So I'm going to grab my album, and of course, this is going to be the front because, yep, this is where the front page goes. So I'm going to keep that over here. And I'm going to grab my base pages that I've already created. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add our flaps and our pocket to this page. So I'm going to add the flaps first. I don't really know if there's a rhyme or reason for that, or which way you want to do it. But this is, just, like I said last night, disclaimer. I am just going to do it Dina's way. This is just the way I do it. But feel free to change it up, make it your own, of course. Okay, so this first page right here, these are 5.5 by 5. You're going to need one that's 5.5 by 5, which that would be this one, and then one that's 5.25 by 5. And you're going to score on one side a 1/2 inch. I've already added my tape. I'm going to put my tape going down. And this right here, this is how they are going to go on those hinges that we created. So this is going to be the top and the bottom. what you're going to do is, I think I can go ahead and make this come upward. Let's do it upward. Might be easier for me. I've got it sideways just so I can see. You're gonna center it up in the center as much as you can. Bring it on here, and then you're gonna peel it off. So there is one of our pages right here. Okay. So you could put the pocket on first if you like. If it's gonna bother my folding, I'll just score over a little bit. It'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna add my second one. And it doesn't really matter which one you want to put. If you want to put the 5 1/4 on one side, and it doesn't matter. But on this right here, let's just make sure we get this even with these other pages. Okay, as much as you can. That doesn't look too bad. Press down. I'm going to fold my... Now I've got my first page almost completed, okay? Before you put the pocket on, if you want to add your designer series paper, you can. Okay, I just want to make sure this is not going to be obstructed by the fold. I think it'll be okay. So your pocket for this one is 3 1/2 by 6 1/2. You're going to score 1/2 inch on the bottom and the sides. So I've already got my tape on here. Save a little time. And then I'm going to fold my flaps where the tape is going to be sticking underneath. Let me just use my bone folder. These up here. And get all this peeled off. I need to get my pokey thing. I'm going to add that. Now I'm going to put this centered toward the bottom of the page. And I'm just going to center it up the best that I can. And there I go. So now I have 2 pages that open up and the pocket. So there we go. So that's our first page. The back of this page right here, I did not put a layout because I wanted to use this beautiful paper here. If you choose to put a layout on there, go ahead. But for this one, I did not put a layout on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this ready. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the book just because I have it ready to roll here. So what you're going to need to do is, I've already got my tape on here that I did last night. I'm not going to peel off all the tape, but I'm going to open this up and I'm going to slip it over the hinge. And you don't want to put this all the way down, and just let me get this situated and I'm going to show you how far down to go. That's looking pretty good. Looks pretty even. Once I got it where I need it, I'm going to pull out my tape, and then I'm also going to pull out my tape that's underneath here as well. And I'm just going to flatten this down. Now, let me just show you how far down I put this. As you see here, that was the bottom of my page, okay? So I left, I don't know, between 1/8 and 1/4 inch. I left that much there. That way then it's still going to be able to fold, okay? So once you're done getting that page in, you press down really good, make sure it's adhered, and then you're going to move on to the next page. Okay, so page 2. We're at page 2 already, y'all. See, I told y'all it's so easy. The cutting is what's time consuming. Okay, so I've got my page 2. Let me get a base page. Okay. So got my base page. Remember, these are the sides that go on the hinge. So on my base page on my page for this one, I did a side pocket. And so I've already cut it, and my side pocket is 3 inches by 6.5. And on this, it's a side pocket, and you score it 1/2 inch. I've already got my tape on there. I'm going to go ahead and get my tape off, or my paper off the tape, and fold these. And I shouldn't have went ahead and peeled that off, but I'm going to make it work. If you peel off your paper at one time, or a little by little, you ensure getting it more straight. But I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay. That didn't go too bad. Okay, once you get it into where you need it to be, there you go. So now I've got my side pocket. Remember, you still got your opening over here, okay? So that's our side pocket. So that is the front of our second page. Now you're gonna flip it over, and this one only has one flap going up. And this one is 5.5 by 4.5 scored at the top, which is on the 4.5 inch side. I've already added the tape, and I went and peeled it off again, y'all. Okay, I'm just gonna eyeball it in the middle. Get it in the middle as best I can. And that didn't go on too bad. Press it down really good. So now I have this pocket. Look what it did, y'all. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave it because I put it upside down, but it's okay for this one. I can have my pocket going on the other side. Because as you see here, I had my pocket this way, and I went and added my flap on the wrong side. So what I'm going to do is, instead of cutting another paper, I'm just going to make my pocket go on this side for this one. It's fine. And then I still have my flap up on that one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's add this to our book. Okay, so add it. Did I do it wrong? Or, you know, I could flip it around if I wanted to. I'm going to leave it. It's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead for this one, and I'm going to add it to my book. Okay, so I'm opening this up, sticking it down, leaving about the 1/8 or 1/4 inch down there. Once you make sure, just make sure your pages are lining up. Not too bad. Oh, my tape paper broke. Let's see if I can grab my tape paper here. Now I'm going to make sure, get this lined up down here again. You want to make sure your pages are going to be straight as the best you can. So anyway, on this one, so now my flap, because this one right here, I did my flap on the left side. So this one, now the flap will be on the right side. It's fine. And then you still have your flap upside down. Okay, so now we're going to the third page. Oops, I need to get this tape out of this paper. So this one, there we go. Don't sweat the small things, y'all. If you did something like what I just did, I just moved it to the other side. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so for the third page, the front is just a pocket. So let me grab the third. And so the pocket, it measures 3.5 by 6.5, scored at 1/2 inch. And it's going to go on the front of our base page. So here's our opening. So we know that's on the side. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fold these all backward. You can use glue if you want. If you don't want to use tape, use what you're comfortable with. And then one more. Get these peeled off. Now, if you, when you went and fixed your mitered your corners there, so they would fold good. If they overlap, you can kind of stick them together. Okay, I'm going to line this up on the bottom as close as you can. If you're not smack on the bottom, that's okay. You're close enough. Nothing's perfect. And so that's the front of our third page, and I still have my opening. I'm going to flip it over. For this one, I have a top flap and 2 smaller side flaps. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Our side flaps measure 3 and 4.5, and you're going to score on the side of the 4.5, so that makes it a 4x3. That way you can fit a 3x4 photo. So we're going to go ahead and adhere those. So what I did is on this one, I put one up a little higher and one a little lower. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to bring it down, I don't know, 1/2 inch. Eyeball it, put it where you like. Line it up on the edge. Just like that. And get it pressed down. And then you're going to add the other one. I'm going to go ahead and just peel it off on these. These are small. And I went down a little bit on these. Put it down. Press this down. Now I have my 2 smaller ones, and now I need the larger one. So the larger one measures 5 going across by 5.5, scored at a 1/2 inch at the top. I'm just going to peel off a little bit of tape. So I'm more likely to get this one crooked. You're going to eyeball it right in the center of your page, the best that you can. And I need to move it over just a little bit. And these little flaps, they will lay down once you're all done with this and get it all smoothed out. Okay, once you got it where you want it, remove your tape. And there you go. So now this one has this, this, and this, okay? So the front is going to be the pocket, and then the back has the flaps. Let's go ahead and put it in our book. I'm going to peel off my tape down a little bit. And you just hold this open, slide it over the hinge the best that you can. And once you get it, oops, this one's going to give me a little fits. Okay, so once you got it on, make sure you got that distance. Make sure your pages are going to look pretty lined up. I'm going to go up about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to pull my tape off, make sure my pages look good, press down, remove from the back. And then I'm just going to press it down. So now there we go. So let's recap here. We've got our first page. We've got 2 openings on the side and a pocket. Over here is just a whole page that you can put a layout. We got a side pocket, a top flap. This one just has a front pocket, and this has the up and open gatefold. Now we're on page 4. So let's grab page 4. Page 4 looks like this. You're going to open it up, and then it also opens again on the front, and the back has 2 side pockets. Okay, let's do the front page. So I'm going to grab a base page. Helps to get all your base pages ready. That way you don't have to worry. So this flap, this one opens at the top. So we know this is our size. This is going to be our top. So for this page, you need a piece of paper 5 inches by 10. You scored a 1/2 inch and then 5 1/2. Okay, so then that way, then this becomes, this can fit right up underneath there. Okay, so we're going to peel this one. And then gonna eyeball it, try to center as much as you can. Press down, kind of hold it. And there we go. Get these pressed down really good. So now we've got this one that opens up and opens up. Okay, so now we're gonna flip it over, and this one has 2 side pockets on the side. So I'm gonna put the larger pocket first. So this one measures 3 1/2 by 6 1/2. I've already got my tape on here, and you want to make sure on your pockets you miter your corners. Everything folds good. Fold it back. So you're going to put the larger pocket on first, and then we're going to put a smaller pocket. So I'm going to peel off my paper. And then we're going to put it on the side because this is the openings. So we're going to put it on this side, the right side. You want to put it on the other side? It's your book. Go for it. Okay. I didn't get it completely flush over there, but I'm doing my best. Okay. So there we go. Got one pocket. That way you'll be able to put something in here, a photo mat or whatever. Now you've got your second pocket. This one measures 6 1/2 by 2, scored at a 1/2 inch. Go ahead and fold. I'm going to peel off my tape. And one more. Now I'm going to layer this one over this one to make it a little bit smaller pocket as well. Okay, so now I have 2 pockets. So now you can put something in this pocket or this pocket. So this was the front with the layout that opens up like this. And then you have your little pockets that are on the side. So let's add them to our album. This one is going to go on, this layout goes on the front. So I'm going to take my tape down. And get this opened up. Get it over the hinge. Make sure you're leaving that like it's about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more. Make sure your pages are lined up the best that you can. Once you got it where you want it, you want to make sure that looks good. Press down, peel off the back. Like I said on my first video, you know, this is just how I do this. This might be a wrong or right way, but this is just the way I do it, and it works. So, there are tons of people out there that make albums all the time that are super pros, and They probably know the real right way to do it, but this is the way Dana does it, so that's okay. We can make things our own. Okay, so now we're on to our next page, and this one has flaps open at the top and bottom, and there's no layout on the back, just so you can put a larger photo. So we're going to get a base page, and this one right here, you just need one that's 5.5 by 5, or actually 2 of them, and you're going to score it a half, cut 2, and there's no layout on the back of this one. So I'm going to get my tape peeled off. Remember to keep your opening. You're going to eyeball this in the center of your page. Put it where you want it. And once you got it as close to the edge as you can get it, down. Then we're going to do the other flap. Opens up at the bottom. And I'm going to fold this over. Actually, I better not. I'm going to just do this as easy as I can. Just try to make sure you get your pages lined up the best that you can. Actually, that went on pretty good. Kind of proud of myself there. Press it down. Now we have our layout, top and bottom. Let's add it to the book because there's nothing on the back of this one. Okay, we are almost done. Okay. So now I'm going to open this up and slide it over the hinge. Make sure it doesn't go all the way down because then it doesn't fold right. Looks pretty good there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure it's still pretty even. Press it down. And then I am going to get this other paper off. We're on the last page, my friends. So there we go. Now we got 5 pages. The last page. Here we go. So our last page has flaps that open top and bottom. And then the other side is a diagonal pocket. So let's get our last base page. And then, so the flaps are 5.5 by 5, and then 5 by 5. And it doesn't really matter if you want to put, what I did is I put the longer one on the top. So let's do that. So I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to make sure I got my thing on here. I'm going to eyeball it in the center. And there we go. Press it down well. Open. We're going to get this one on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this flap. Let's try to make sure we're lining it up. Not too bad, not too shabby. I'm going to peel that off. Whenever you're making layouts, I just made these up as I went, how I thought I wanted it to be, and just go with it, y'all. Okay, so you can either make it where this one goes underneath or this one goes underneath. Doesn't matter. I did not use any magnets or anything in my book, but I don't really feel the need to. I put my bottom flap on the top. That's up to you. Okay, let's do our last side. It's going to be over here. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a 6 by 6 piece of paper. Okay, so I didn't go ahead and cut this one and score it so I could show you what I did. So I've already cut it 6 by 6. And I'm going to line up, get that out of the way. I'm going to line up my points on where I cut, where the blade goes on my trimmer. Just when you put this down, Just make sure that you have it. So there you go. You got your diagonal pocket. It's going to fit just fine. Now you want to score on the left side and the bottom at a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to flip this around so I can score it a little bit either so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm doing a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to flip it over so I can line it up and see what I'm doing, and a 1/2 inch. So there we go. So now we've got our pocket. Okay, so for this particular one, let me see what I did with my tape. So for this particular one, you're gonna be folding this back and folding this one down. You're gonna trim these off, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my tape. And this tape, I believe, is like maybe 1/4 inch or 3/8. This tape, because I've ran out of my smaller score tape, I ordered some more today. This tape, actually, is what came from the Dollar Tree. And y'all, I'm pretty impressed for Dollar Tree tape. Okay, so you want to make sure that you miter this corner right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that corner off. And then once you fold it, you're going to cut off the other parts as well. So as you see here, you have this overhang. So just take your scissors and trim it. Do the same thing over here. And there we go. Now let's add it on our page. I'm just going to go ahead and get this lined up on the bottom. Since I peeled off my paper, once again, I jump ahead, y'all. And then I'm just lining it up in that corner. And that doesn't look too shabby. That'll be okay. Press it down. I'm going to peel off this one. And how easy is this? Now, I could have brought it down a little bit more, but y'all, don't sweat the small stuff. See how I had a little bit left there? I could have made it a little lower, but it's okay. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to waste my paper to go cut again. And now let's add it into our album. Last page. Peel that down. I'm gonna open up this right here. Gonna slip it over. Making go down to about that 1/8 of an inch up from the score line where the fold is. I'm going to try to make sure my pages are looking like they're even. And I'm going to press down. And I'm going to take the paper off the back. I'm going to peel this off. And now we have our album. Oh, and look what I did. I put my diagonal page, my pocket on there. It doesn't matter. Don't sweat the small stuff. I put it upside down. But it doesn't matter because you still got a pocket. You still got your flaps. So it's all good. I'm not going to even worry about that. So there we go. Let's do our last walkthrough. So you open up. You've got your pages. Pocket. You got pocket here. This is for a full layout. You've got a side pocket, which on my original book, remember I put it over here, and then you've got a top flap, so you can add photos there. If you want to add some more pages or more side things popping out, go for it. Then you have a front pocket. You have a top and a gatefold here. Then you're going to have this one that opens up twice. You're going to have 2 side pockets, top and bottom. And on the back, you don't have any layout there. You have a diagonal pocket, and then this opens up. And you have the pocket on the back. So how simple is this? Now it's ready to decorate. Isn't that? See, I've got an album that's all ready to decorate. It's ready to go. And yeah, easy, easy, easy. It really is. You say, oh, someone wrote me a comment and said, you say it's easy. Y'all, it is. Once you just practice, you know. But yeah, you just make it up as you go, how you want your layouts to be. And see how this is? It actually has lots of room to grow. So once you put all your designer series paper, all of your embellishments, your photos, whatever, it's going to chunk it up and it's going to be a very nice little sized album. Now, if you wanted to make like a ribbon tie around it before you put your paper over the outside, put your ribbon and then put your designer series paper over there. That way you can tie a bow on it, or you can just leave it where it's like this one that just will open up. But anyway, y'all, this is so much fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I did think a while ago, oh, I never put the measurements for the hinges on there. So I'm going to try to remember to update that on the last video. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'll try to see if I can paste all my measurements in the description box for the pages too. That way then you can follow along if you'd like. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll give this one a try. Anyway, thanks so much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you stuck with me to the end, thank you. I appreciate it so much. So anyway, thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night.